let's get started on a game that did not hold up as well as I had thought. This is my rating video for 13-2. Let's get this done. So, 8 sessions, no cheats. It's -9 on both story and gameplay. Let us begin. Let's start with the story positives, because there are actual story positives here. The beginner's primer, which tells you the story of Final Fantasy of 13-1. Good stuff. Really good stuff. There's some good sprite work. There's some decent brick work. Not amazing, but it's definitely way better than 13-1. 13-1 was a lot of, what the hell am I looking at? Whereas 13-2, it feels like there's a lot more brickwork that I can get behind. Granted, that's probably because most of it takes place on Pulse, but that's beside the point. I gave a +2 banter, NPC chatter, and humor, Devil May Cry effect, and Babylon 5 effect, as I feel they're all good and well used. I really like the story so far cutscene. Cutscene that plays whenever you load your game. Nice little dynamic thing there. I'm always a sucker for those dynamic, tell you where you are in the story kind of snippets, you know? There's some good foreshadowing, some good visual storytelling, some good gameplay story integration, and some good internal continuity. Ironically enough, 13 positives to a presentation. Then I gave some positives to characters. Noel got 2 positives, as I actually think he's an interesting protagonist, and I do like the fact that he's fighting for a better future. I also gave Sarah 2 positives, as her growth felt natural from where she was in 13-1. So there we go. I like Alyssa, as I feel she is peppy, she's kind, and her devotion to Hope works. Yes, I said her devotion to Hope. Speaking of, Hope is easily the best character in 13-2, no question. Yes, you read that right. He has great characterization, he is mature now, and the fact that he was like that in 13-1 and had so many people he cared about vanish into the ether and he didn't go insane, that's worthy of some props. So yeah, he easily pulls an agate and earns a triple positive. And agate, of course, being, I fucking hated him originally, but then he grew to become one of my favorite characters. We'll talk about how he is in Lightning Returns when we eventually get there, or past the Nexomons. Anyways, the intro, which I chop when you leave New Bodom for the first time, introduces the plot and the goals of both Sarah and Noel pretty well. I gave a plus to the scene of Alyssa examining the epitaph in the Brescia Ruins in 5AF after you defeat Atlas. I feel that's a good scene, it shows our character well. I really like Hope's introduction. It just really works. And it quickly establishes his character, which is awesome. Then the story kind of stalls out a bit, as we don't get another positive until we get to Augusta Tower 200 AF, where the correct answer to defeating the fal'Cie is for Sarah to scream at Hope. To yell at him and saying, these machines you've built are driving me nuts. It's great. Hey, it's a great way to alter the timeline, and I love that it's just instantaneously. She yells at Hope, and then instantly the future changes. Love it. Great use of time travel there. Here, you know. Oh, and a great demonstration of Time Traveler's Exemption Clause. Yes. So, then there's Hope explaining that the Proto-fal'Cie project was abandoned because Sarah yelled at him. him. That whole scene that whole bit is just gold. I gave that a triple positive. And I love Sarah and Noel's reactions. Sarah's just kind of like, to be fair, I was pretty ticked off by that point, and Noel's just like, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Then I gave some positives. Then I gave a couple of paradox ending positives. As it is, Fate and Freedom, which is the one for accepting fake Lightning's offer in the fake new Bottom. It's an interesting take on a bad ending and is well done. With it seeming good but feeling off. Then there's the A Giant Mistake paradox ending. I found it's interesting in showing the hubris of men and the awful nature of war, as well as showing both Sarah and Noel's natures. Then there's the A Father-Son fragment from Vile Peaks 200 AF, which I gave a +2. Great peek into Zaz's character. Words of Light, in Vile Peaks 200. That was Lightning's message. Nice, and it's great insight into Lightning's character. I love the scene where Sarah yells at the Flan in Sunlith 400 AF. It's dumb. It's dumb that it works, but dumb in a charming way that I liked. So triple positive there. And then there's paradox ending Mog's Marvelous Flan Plan, which is just hilarious, and I absolutely love that one. Triple positive there. Vanille's Truth was a great dive into Vanille's character, so that was a triple positive. The paradox ending Test Subjects, wonderfully chilling. Paradox ending, that's the Pro FLC constantly fighting it one. Paradox ending Beneath a Timeless Sky is an interesting, if dark, ending. That one was the one where Sarah defeats Caius with the Paradox Scope in The Void Beyond during the outro. Paradox ending Heir to Chaos, which is Noel defeating Caius with the Paradox Scope equipped. Yeah, it is wonderfully tragic ending. Then there's my personal favorite Paradox ending, The Future is Hope. It's the best ending, no question. It fits with the characters, and honestly, it's better than the actual ending, and I wish this was what led to Lightning Returns. I do mean that sincerely. That actually would have been an interesting idea, but no, we had to have Snow be a tilted, depressed asshole, while in Lightning Returns instead. But anyways. And I also like the opening scene of the Coliseum opponents. It's a fun little romp. So 48 positives, 2 story. Now let's get into the negatives, because yeah, there's quite a few. I hate the dialogue in this one. I grew to despise the dialogue over time. At first it was just going to be 1. It blossomed into 3. I gave a negative for empty text. I gave a negative for Noel's memory issues being a plot contrivance. Oh, and speaking of plot contrivances, when you change the future, you change the past. That is consistent, yes. But it's really fucking stupid and overly convoluted, as it is basically saying that Caius changed the timeline first, so there's no point in making any other changes, which defeats the whole point of a time travel story. So, fuck that. It also becomes convoluted when you remember that Lightning was sucked to Valhalla through time by Etro, and fuck this bullshit. I gave that whole plot contrivance a triple negative. Then there's the fake memories with everybody not remembering the end, with only Sarah remembering how we the audience saw FF13 play out, the ending to FF13-1 play out, which is just fuck off. You could have You could have gone with anything other than the most convoluted idea game. Fuck. I also hate the use of external continuity in this one. There's some good stuff here, but this game really didn't need to stab 13-1 in the back. Heck with all the retcons. That's right. Time Shenanigans should have been the instigator, not the backstory. You want an example of how to do this right? See Trails into Reverie. I gave a negative for fake drama. I gave a negative to the plot because it's full of fucking holes. There's more world destruction than building. I also find that this is a really badly written story. I was right about Nora being flawed. Now we get into the characters. Nora, I was right about Snow's little ragtag group being more fleshed out. Doesn't mean they're any less fucking irritating to put up with. Though, so negative for them. Caius, by the end, really started to get on my nerves with his constant hypocrisy, arrogance, and frankly, he is only remotely interesting because of the voice actor that plays him. Take how he is written, however, and you have a villain that's boring at best and a downright walking plot hole at worst. So, triple negative there. Also, Yule is a waste of a character and exists solely to create plot holes, so triple negative there. Also, she is evil as also the one that's also she is evil as fuck. Moving on. The Yule death in Academia 400 AF, hollow as fuck, and I hate it. Then we start getting into the outro, which I actually start at the Void Beyond right after alternate Academia 400. So the reveal of Caius's motive is just not good. First problem is that he wants to eliminate Etro and wipe everything out so that Yule can be free in Valhalla for eternity, but the problem is that there's no guarantee that she will be safe there, because, spoilers, Valhalla gets fucked over too. Duh. Second problem, the writing is trying to paint mass genocide as noble. I'm not trying to be topical with that statement, but it's what he's fucking doing, and it's just fucking stupid. And the third, and the most irritating of this, is Caius is a Gary Stu in that entire sequence. Like, the entire time you're in the Void Beyond, and he is just a Gary Stu. So, yeah, that whole section gets a triple negative. And then when the game enters what I consider the outro, the pacing just starts really shitting the bed. So, triple negative there. Then there's Yule's voiceover in Academia 500, which is just, what the fuck? First, how the hell are we hearing her? Also, she is Cirrus, not psychic. The second, so is Yule evil now? Because Caius is trying to end reality, you bitch. Like, come on. And third, it's a fucking total shift, because it's like, we're doing the right thing. Are you doing the right thing? Oh, fuck off. You don't fucking pull that in the 11th hour. Writers, stop pulling that kind of shit in the 11th hour. It's not clever. Ugh. The scene with the final QTE is just bullcrap. I hate it. And then there's Sarah's death. I have hated this forever. So, it's idiotic. Not to mention the fact that it's a plot hole. Well, she has only seen timelines, which is what's supposed to lead to the death, like 3 times, and that just doesn't work. The only other character that to have that power was Yule, and every Yule looks the same. So her dying like them just makes no fucking sense. And it's despite the whole curse to die when you see the timeline bullcrap that permeates the shit. If Noel died at the same time, then I'd be willing to accept it. But he didn't, so fuck you. It's a plot hole. You fucked up. Stop writing stories. You suck at it. And I also hate this ending in general, as it's a giant circle jerk, just so that we can end on a fucking cliffhanger. Also, the ending song sucks. Nixon does not fit at fucking all. As I have made clear with the ranting of the past few negatives, I really fucking hate this outro. So that's a triple negative. Also, the secret ending is not worth 100% of the game for how much shit you have to go through to get it. So then we move on to the DLC. No, Yule. Well, it was not Lightning's fault that Sarah died, because Caius started this shit. You fucking bitch. I am sick and tired of fiction pulling this garbage. I also hate Sarah's speech during Requiem of the Goddess. That's during Requiem of the Goddess, by the way. I also hate Sarah's speech from Requiem of the Goddess, which was another triple negative. I also hate Lightning losing her emotions because of Requiem of the Goddess, just so she can be a fucking stoic, emotionless dipshit. Lightning and Lightning Returns. Triple negative there. I also hate the wasted potential of Requiem of the Goddess, so that I gave a negative for that. And Requiem of the Goddess in general can just die in a fire because it just was not satisfying and it just sucked. Total of 57 freaking story negatives. Moving on. Now let's get back to some positivity with the gameplay positives, shall we? I was really expecting the gameplay to do better, but then you factor in shit like Requiem of the Goddess and other shit, and it's just like, no. So, the music this time around was pretty good, with some interesting Yoshi drums, as the music alters slightly when the mod clock is on screen, most of the time anyway. Then there was the songs that I gave positives for: Champion of Vetro, Hope's Theme, Game Tomorrow's Dream, Unseen Abyss, the final boss song, and that's also used in the Requiem of the Goddess DLC, and Crazy Chocobo. All good songs. I like that the tutorials are skippable. The tutorials themselves are just kind of good auto battle, good bestiary. Actually, did I give a negative for the tutorials? Give me a sec. Oh, okay, I did give a negative for the tutorials. They are kind of for the most part, but they are still bad tutorials, so fuck them. Anyways, it's good auto battle, good bestiary, good info in game. Enemy HP is almost always available. Paradigm is still an awesome mechanic, worthy of a triple positive. With the numbers brought down and the leader dies equals game over shit gone, the core combat goes from being the worst in the series to some of the best, so triple positive there. I gave a positive to combat animations, I gave a plus to counter design, and to boss design. Items that are used in battle are still not used up when you hit retry, so that's good. Potions are just as good as in 13.1, if not better, so that's good. Then there's the whole party fully restored after combat thing, which I just carried over to positive from 13.1. No permanent status effects. Each of the roles got a positive of Commando, Ravager, Sentinel. Sentinel actually got 3 positives, and then Synergist, Saboteur, and Medic. I gave the power progression curve a triple positive. I gave the difficulty curve a positive. Easy and normal do change things slightly, such as besides stats. It's such as item drops, which is the thing that changes besides stats. The stagger mechanic, and it continues to be really good, and I really like it here more than in the first one. I like the mod clock system. It's basically random encounters, but I find it fun. Good itemization, good gameplay story integration, good quality of life features. I like the Historia Crux. I feel it is a great system, so triple positive there. Error. I also like that when you return to the Historia Crux and then go back into a world, which by the way you can pause at any time and return to the Historia Crux. When you go back to that location, reselect that location from the Historia Crux, you'll be right back in the immediate spot that you were in when you left. Some good stuff. So the pacing is excellent in everything except the outro, so I got a triple positive there. Good mid-mission checkpoints again. The intro I gave a positive too. And then I started giving positives, then I gave a couple of boss positives. Atlas, Proto-Felsi, Adam, Chaos Bahamut during the outro, and Kai's Round 4, and the final Bahamut battle. The final battle, in particular, getting a triple positive for just being awesome. I also like the Paradox ending version of the Atlas fight, so that was fun. I also like the fact that you can actually go ahead and close the gate, fight the Paradox ending to gain the stats from it, and then open the gate and just ignore the Paradox ending. So, there you go. Triple positive for that. Then we get into the DLC. I gave Omega, Nabat, Poo Poo, Ultros and Typhon, and Snow all positives. Positives for those fights. Those fights were really fun. The Colosseum also balances out with only 2 of the 7 fights being bad, and overall it's just fun and engaging. And then for the Heads or Tails DLC, I gave Poker and Chronobind positives. So there we go. 74 positives. But you will also notice that it's still net -9, so let's get into it. The DLC is just plain overpriced. I hate the screen flash. The screen flashing is back, and I hate it. Banter is too easy to skip. The No Treasure for You is still fucking irritating and still worthy of triple negative. Shop prices are too high. The encounter rate is just too damn high. I gave 3 negatives to that. The camera has issues because sometimes it just feels like the camera is drunk. Backtracking, especially when it only really becomes an issue when you're going for 100% because you have to get the bestiary and the maps, but still. I also I recommend playing this on the physical version because the digital version on the Series X is glitchy and plagued by lag. God, I hated that. Excuse me. Get a physical disc, play it on the original hardware. That is my recommendation. Walkthroughitis is especially bad if you're going for 100%. There's some audio spam issues. There's a lack of enemy variety. The options are lacking. The padding in regards to 100% is just ugh. And there's some bad tutorials. Now let's get into the now. Then there's Caius Round 1 in Erebus 200. Oh god. Ugh. So I hate that it's a difficulty cliff, and I also hate the fact that he constantly heals. Oh, and he's a cheap bastard while we're on the subject. I hate Academia 400 AF, as you will see with the next few negatives. I gave a triple negative for the place in general because of all of the short timer on combat. I hate the encounter rate in Academia 400. Yes, it's through the goddamn roof, and I feel the encounter design is just boring as fuck because it's so samey. And it's god, triple negative for that. Oh, so this was where I gave a negative for enemies that if you don't Librascope them the first time, you need to close the game and try again in both 400 AF and 500 AF Academia, respectively. I also hate the boss Zenobia, which is just cheap bastard, and I hate it. Yeah. Then there's Augusta Tower 200's elevator section, which just sucks. Looks ass. God, the motion sickness was real. I had to put up a motion sickness warning because I was like, it was starting to make me feel a little. And I don't usually suffer from motion sickness issues, so yeah, I was still feeling slightly nauseous. So fuck that shit. I hate going for Serendipity's fragments. I gave a triple negative for this because, yeah, no, if you're wanting them, you're grinding. No two ways about it. Also, fuck the lucky coin fragment. That was another triple negative. RNG should not be a part of 100%, period. So, yeah, the ridiculous guild requirements also caused... it caused a negative for grind. I hate Brain Blast and Captain Cryptic. The trick questions during Brain Blast can fuck off, and Captain Cryptic was even worse with his random locations. I basically had to do the equivalent of save scumming with the Historia Crux in order to make that feasible, which just sucks. Then we get into the outro. I hate the dream sequences as they are long, boring slogfests. Academia 500 is trash as a final dungeon. Triple negative there. I also hate the encounters in 500 AF. I hate the Yule audio spam in that one boss fight. That got a triple negative on its own. Not the boss itself, just the audio spam. The encounter rate is through the goddamn roof in 500 AF. I also really hate the 5th round against Caius, which is the final round, which you have to basically drain his health bar twice, which is just crap. And I also gave a triple negative for the outro in general. God, I fucking hate that. And, so Yomi is an asshole. This is one of the hunts on the Acolyte Step. Yep. So, the only thing that really kept him from a triple negative was the fact that you gain a really good amount of CP from him. So, also Paradox Caius 3, aka Null vs. Caius 1v1 Paradox Edition, is an overlong slog of a fight, and I hate it. Completing the bestiary requires full data, and that is bullshit, meaning fighting enemies over and over again, resulting in a full 3 negatives. Negatives. Wait, does it require a full thing? No, it really doesn't. So I need to change up the wording in this. So, yeah. Uh, Originally, I thought this was that you needed to get the full data, but no. What it actually is you have to fight everything, including a boss that is only going to appear if you answer incorrectly during the live trigger that lets you yell at hope. Yeah. So do yourself a favor and get that wrong. And at least once. So yeah. Also, 100% of the game is just not satisfying at all. Oh, so there's that. I gave a negative for that. Then there's Requiem of the Goddess, which just sucks. It's boring, it's full of cheap nonsense, and is generally a slog to get through. So, triple negative there. I also find Requiem of the Goddess to be a triple negative grind fest. And the fact that you have to defeat Caius in both human and chaos forms with 5 stars to unlock Lightning as a companion is also annoying as bull. Is all get out. I also really don't like fighting Lightning and Amodar in the Colosseum because they fight dirty. Fuck that fight. Also, this is the worst Gilgamesh fight in the series for me. 10 million HP, constant status effects. Oh, and he heals a full million when he comes out of stagger. Yeah, I fucking hate this fight. Triple negative. So. And you know what? I think we're gonna live increase the score. Or here. Or because, yeah. You don't actually need that. So, we'll increase that by 2. So, oh. No. Other way, Alex. Other way. 7. So, there you go. Yay! 2 points higher. That doesn't change much of anything. In fact, it changes nothing. Absolutely nothing. It just means that 13-2 has better gameplay than Nexomon 1 does. Heh, how's that for irony? Irony, which means I actually have to swap these two around. That's 28 and that's 27. Evan, how ironic. And how ironic. But that's the nature of these things. Sometimes you just find stuff that just works, you know? But regardless, yeah. So that's it. That's it. 13-2, ladies and gentlemen. 13-2. It's not a good game. It's still worse than I thought. And I wish I liked it more. Or, if I'm honest. But I don't. It sucks. Oh well. Well. So, that's it. Until next time, Blue Wolf Alex Walker signing out. Have a good one.